From Studio 3 at Buzz TV, it's The Horse's Mouth with Tom McManus.
All right, welcome into another edition of The Horse's Mouth here at my bar, of course, at Tommy Mac's, where everybody is welcome to have a seat and get a chance to tell their story about what they're doing out there. Brought to our good friends at Foodies Care, an awesome organization helping the homeless and the hungry all throughout Northeast Florida. Great to have them on board. Great to be here at Client Focus Media, and we've got a great show. Everything's great. It's just all great on this show. That's what we do. Operation New Uniform is back. That's right. Michele McManamon is here and brought some guests. We're going to talk a little bit about that. And we're also going to talk a little aesthetics. How about that? Yeah, we are a little sales in that industry as well. So let's say hello to the panel. Michele's up first. Hey, Michele, how are you? Operation New Uniform.
Yes.
I remember I met with you guys, when was it, like 10 years ago maybe?
14.
Was it that long ago?
Not long, 'cause
Oh
that's
my
a long
gosh,
thing.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Congratulations. You guys are doing phenomenal work, helping the transition of our military, our great military men and women.
Yes.
So
military,
you continue to do that.
spouses,
Yeah.
Families. I mean, it's been crazy.
Yeah.
The growth is incredible.
Give us the 30-second Operation New Uniform mission statement, if you will, so people can be reminded about
So
what
we're
you guys are doing.
empowering veterans, military spouses, active duty, that are in their last part of their service time.
Okay.
And we work with them and focus on really helping them overcome some of the challenges that they have when they're coming out of the military and finding a career, purposeful career.
Absolutely.
And, you can do jobs.
Right.
Jobs are one thing. Anybody can get a job, but to get a career is something totally different.
Yep.
So we help them overcome some of those challenges
Cool.
in a number of ways. And you're going to hear about that. From
Absolutely.
Michael and-
We've had a ton of military men and women in the
Yeah.
show, and the transition's no joke. There's no doubt about it. Great to have you on the show.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Like you said, you brought Michael
Yeah.
Dargavell, right?
correct.
I got that right?
Yes.
You now work for ONU. You were
do.
a part of it, and you were in the Army for, what, 25 years? or so?
25 years.
Thank you for your service. Talk about the transition real quick so people know from a real military person that's trying to make it into the real world, the civilian world, if you will.
I like to talk about the transition in terms of the family.
Okay.
For me, I've been married for 20 years.
All right.
Congrats. Standard Army kind of career where I moved 7 times in 10 years.
Wow.
We decided to settle down here in the Jacksonville area because we loved it. The family was like, hey, can we just retire and stay here? I was like, sure. Well, it was really difficult to figure out what I wanted to do when I grew up, right?
Yep.
And figure that out. And I like to talk about it in the family aspect because my wife's the same way. What does her network look like now?
Right.
She's been all over the country. Like, it's
Right.
really hard to find a good career. She's an unknown.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times you go and find a great career based on, somebody.
Yeah.
It's a connection. It's
Yeah,
a
right.
network and everything else. And Operation New Uniform, I went through the program about 14 months ago now as part of, I got really lucky.
Okay.
I tell you, I sit on the Military Issues Committee downtown in Jacksonville at the Chambers.
Okay, cool.
And a wonderful person down there, Chris, I talked to him. He's like, you heard of this? I was like, no. He's like, you should go do it. I went through the program and I was blown away. I think it was day 4 when I asked Michele, can I come work for her?
Yep.
She told me no. Lo and behold, I'm there anyway. So I'm doing it now, but it's a tremendous organization. It's not for everybody,
Right.
but if you're out there and you're having difficulty trying to find out your purpose,
Yep.
what you want to do in life,
Yeah.
and all those
I
things.
can tell he's a great advocate for you
Can
guys.
imagine?
Yeah.
But think
I
about
can,
it too.
I can
think
imagine
the most
it.
important part is to just finding a purpose.
Yeah.
So many of us that didn't serve try
Yeah.
to find a purpose, right?
Yeah.
But after you've served for 20, 25 years,
No doubt.
what do you do with your life? The second part of your life.
Oh,
You
yeah,
join the ONU program and
That's
figure it out
right.
is what you do,
Exactly.
Michele. Absolutely.
Yeah, the last 20 years of my career, I was flying Kiowa Warriors, I was flying Apaches, I was deploying,
Wow.
coming back.
Wow.
And when you get out, it's really, it's not really a transition. I call it a transformation.
Yeah.
It's like you get a chance to start all over. Like, what are
Yeah.
you going to do now? And it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know. There's almost too many options.
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
Great to have you guys on. Really appreciate the time. Ryan Kuiper's here from Aurora Aesthetics. How are you, Ryan?
Doing great.
Good to see you, man.
Yeah.
You're in sales
Yep.
for Aurora?
Yep, VP
Tell
of
us about it.
sales.
What are you selling?
So we're selling all the cool stuff.
Yep.
Totally different from what you guys
That's
do.
right. That's all right. Did you serve in the
did
air
not.
military?
No.
No, that's all right.
Nope.
Neither did I. Neither
Nope.
did I. Yeah.
Did not.
Okay. What's your background? Did you get into sales out of college? Like, what's your background?
Yeah, it's kind of a funny story. I went to school to be a history teacher at Florida State.
Really?
While I was there, I was running Gold's Gym in Tallahassee.
Okay.
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
They're not there.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That used to be a great gym.
Yeah, they had 3 of them,
Yeah.
and I learned a lot of great I was always in sales. Growing up north, we would sell lemonade and knock on doors to shovel snow and rake leaves for money as kids. So while I was going through school to be a teacher, I was selling $14.99, $9.99 gym memberships, and then I got the offer letter from Duval County Schools, and it was less than what I was making. Gym memberships. I was like, maybe I'll give the sales thing a try.
Okay. Cool.
And I can teach when I retire, maybe.
There you go. Yeah. How'd you get into the aesthetic world? How did that come about?
Listen, like medical device, everyone they put that like up in the upper echelon for salespeople. It's like if you want to make a decent living and some money to provide for your family, you want to try to get a medical device, but that's it's a harder industry to really break into. So I kind of just went back to like blue collar type selling when I first got back to Jacksonville. Worked for Comcast for a while, doing business to business, selling airtime. Actually sold a lot for 1010XL back in the day.
Cool.
And then just kind of worked my way, got a good resume, and then started putting my name into recruiters, and then aesthetic laser company gave me a shot. Cool. And been in it for 10 years now.
So you sell lasers, obviously. What else do you guys sell?
So it's mainly lasers. We're looking at other avenues right now. You guys all know probably what's going on with the peptides. You guys are on listen to some like the GLP-1 community.
There's so many of them, I can't even keep track.
It seems like a new one comes out every single day.
It does.
Right?
It does. Yeah.
And what's cool is to see the industry change over the last 10 years, because we were talking about this in the green room. Was there used to be a taboo around aesthetics, like, especially for men getting into it.
Yeah,
and that's our fastest demographic is men between ages of 25 and 35 getting into...
Mostly for hair loss?
Hair loss, hair removal.
Hair removal,
is everything now.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
You just see a whole new generation, especially after COVID. I think we all sat on our phones for a year watching... Instagram videos, and aesthetic lasers was one of the most trending Instagram demographics out there. So we had something called the Zoom boom, where we were all on Zoom calls and people looking at themselves for the first time while they're talking and being like, "What's up? I got all these wrinkles around my face," and we saw a bunch of huge influx of people. And now it's combining with wellness and longevity. It's not just taking care of your body anymore. It's taking care of your hair, taking care of your skin. And that's what's led, to this new chapter in aesthetics.
So my chiropractor uses different lasers for inflammation. Yeah. Is it kind of a similar thing? So tell me about the difference in that.
So that's the great thing about like the whole technology side behind lasers, because there's so many different wavelengths, and each wavelength has a specific target in the skin that's going to create change in the body, right? So we work on the light spectrum when it comes to lasers, and depending on where you're at, it affects a certain part, what we call chromophores in the skin. When it comes to inflammation, a lot of that's low red light therapy, blue light therapy. That's going to be.
I didn't know that. Different wavelengths like that would do different things. But again, what do? I serve beers. How am I supposed to know these things? I'm learning it. I'm in a band.
Go ahead and just call them all out. Play football.
It's fascinating. It's fascinating, and and it's kind of a really cool thing. And I still get my teaching perks because I'm hiring new reps that have no idea what they're about to get into, and I can teach them how to.
Very cool.
About the science.
So we're selling to different spas, I would imagine, or individuals, or what are we selling to?
It's everybody now, right? Because these doctors are dealing with insurance reimbursements declining all across all specialties, from OBGYNs to even some insurance-based chiropractors out there. That's why you see concierge medicine becoming such a huge thing right now, because there's people paying a lot for their insurance, premiums. But the doctors have to put them on a quick egg timer because they have to see more patients to be making the same amount of money that they were making 10 years ago, and so they're looking at it like, well, if I'm getting paid less per patient, I'm not going to be able to get the standard of care that I need for my patient to figure out what's wrong with them. And then, that's what concierge is like, kind of like a totally different aspect. They're able to spend more time.
They give you the time.
The patient.
Yeah. Those doctors, they're under the gun. I mean, they got only so much time for you in the room. Then they're like, all right, you got to go. 11 minutes are up. Or 7, whatever it is, whatever that number is.
5 to 7 minutes.
It's 5 to 7.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then you have the other side of the business side. Private equity firms are coming in and buying up doctors' offices left
Yep.
and right.
Yep.
So these doctors who wanted to be autonomous are, getting
Yep.
bought up with the.
So with Operation New Uniform, sales?
Sales?
I mean, do they get? I'm
Do you
sure
want me
they
to
get.
hire him? 'Cause,
No,
you
I'm
know,
just saying, like
I mean,
maybe
he sounds like
maybe
he's pretty good. I'll
maybe
tell you
someone
that.
from the program, to get into sales.
Yeah, we love
aesthetic
that.
sales, right?
So interesting. So for as long as I've been doing this, Tom, a very small percentage want to get into sales.
Yeah.
They would almost rather jump out of perfectly
Operations.
good airplanes than to go into sales.
Yeah.
And it's it's the fear of the unknown. It's coming
Yeah.
in without having
Sales
some
is
kind of
tough.
base salary,
right,
or maybe
yep.
you start with a base and you know what's going away.
Yep.
It's a different beast. I know it coming from the sales world.
Yep.
Pat and I started this, and the whole entire process that we teach is based on a sales technique.
Yep.
So, Operation New Uniform teaches Sandler training,
Yep.
which
Right.
is a sales
right.
and leadership training company,
Yep.
but we teach them how to sell themselves instead of a product or service.
Got you.
Now, do they come out and a few say, yeah, I want to do something that's more independent. I
Yeah,
want to do something
yeah.
that
Entrepreneurial.
I can start entrepreneurial, something
Yeah.
on my own.
Yeah.
Absolutely, we have a few of those, but
Yeah.
very few that want to go into sales. But
Yep.
those few, I'd be happy to pass them.
Yeah, absolutely.
I
Yeah.
have a lot of I've hired a lot of veterans. My top salespeople, a lot of them are,
Yeah.
former military, Marines,
love that.
Yep.
Navy. So.
Listen, we all if we're in business long enough, we all pivot from time to time, right? We pivot from one job to another, a field to another. You got to reinvent yourself. I've reinvented myself. I don't know how many different times throughout. From being done with football through where I am today. It's not easy, and to have a system, whatever that is, to help people do that. I mean, that's more than half the battle. I mean, I know it's a parallel, but it's nowhere near the same. But athletes that are done, they don't know what to do. They now a lot go into sales because they've been selling themselves the whole. You're in business for yourself when you're a professional athlete, right? But a lot of guys they have a tough time because they can't figure out. And I think what the parallel is, correct me if I'm wrong, when you're in the military, when you're in sports, it's black and white. You do the job, or they get rid of you. Like they tell you don't. They critique you or they praise you. It's no third party in the way, getting in the way of things. It's just you perform well, you're going to continue on. If you don't perform well, they're going to show you the door.
So Tom, I don't want to make light of that. That's true. We've talked about this when we started
Yep.
ONU. Literally, we talked about helping athletes, professional athletes
Yep.
that were struggling with that same thing. The name of the organization is Operation New Uniform for a reason. It's leaving whatever uniform
Yeah.
it was you were in
That's right.
and
Yep.
getting into something new. So yes, it's a true fact. Athletes have a horrible time.
Some
Just
do,
like our
or a lot
veterans
do.
Some
I should-
do.
a lot do.
A lot.
Yeah.
And it's a hard transition. You don't have the resources either. Now, with our military, there are a ton of resources. It's probably the opposite.
Right.
There's so many you don't know where to start. And Michael, you could probably address that better than me. But I mean, the VA tries to do a good job with their TAP program
Yeah.
to give them the resources that they have available to them. They don't give them all of them.
Right.
But when they get out, they're frustrated because they don't know where to go first
Right.
or where to even go.
Yeah.
And so many of them turn to sitting back at their desks and throwing out resumes
Yep.
and just seeing what
Blindly.
sticks. It's
Yeah.
like throwing pasta against
Yeah,
the wall
yeah.
and seeing what sticks.
Throwing
but
beep against the wall.
yeah, well,
See if it sticks.
but you think about our athletes as two
Same.
have the same issue because they come out and people want to hire them, right? Because I love athletes because they're motivated, they're go-getters, they're this and
Yeah.
that. So we're veterans, but they're not trained properly to go in those jobs. They usually fail.
Yeah. I will say this too, because I know a lot of people say that about athletes, but they it's only if they find passion in what they're doing. Because just because I'm an athlete and I, was committed to my profession, if I go sell something that I'm just not into,
Right.
you're not going to get the best out of me. You're going to get the best out of me when I'm into it. Like I'm passionate about it. Like what I do now. You know what I mean? Like this is what I'm supposed to be doing. That type of thing.
Right.
But,
So let's talk about what's the difference between I want to go out and make a lot of money. We talked about this in the green room before. And
Yep.
do I want to make a lot of money?
there's a green room here?
Oh, yeah, we've right over
Now
there.
there is.
But anyway.
Popcorn room. That's
the popcorn
that's where
room.
the
There you go.
popcorn's at.
There you go.
But really, what's going to get you motivated to have that passion that you're talking about?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, everybody's right. You could be prevention focused, promotion focused.
Right.
Some
Yeah.
people
Right.
are afraid of going to this commission based versus having a steady salary.
Yep.
And there are different places in life like, I just want to be secure right now. We have others that are like, commission, sign me up. I've
Right.
been working hard my whole life, getting paid the same thing as everybody, the same
Yeah.
ring. I want to go out there and make a ton of money right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
just depends.
Well, I think athletes too, because you don't get paid till you make the team. So you're doing all this training without really getting. You may get a little bit of
Yeah.
stipend money, but you don't get your contract till you start the season. You know what I mean? So if you haven't made it the first year, that's basically working on commission. And then I think the transition's a little easier.
Well, I think you said it best when you talked about purpose and passion. You know, just because you can doesn't mean you should. A lot of people go out there and they get a job because they're like, I don't know what to do. Somebody offers them a job, like, I'll take it.
Right.
You know, veterans generally have 3 jobs in their first 2 years whenever they exit the service.
Ryan, how about you with sales, man? What would you say for salespeople out there, people thinking about getting into sales, not specifically for what you do, but just in general? Like, what is it? What kind of gumption do you got to have? What kind of insight do you got to have to make it happen?
I mean, sales it's like an eat what you kill type.
Oh yeah,
industry
I'm in it.
And I'm a big believer in sweat equity and what I like to call like sales, like karma. You know, the more work you put in, prospecting, dialing, doing the things that your competitors don't want to do, which is cold calling. No one likes a cold call, but you got to love. Like we used to say in Florida, it's like in high school football, it's like you got to love the suck, like a little bit. That kind of sucks
the grind,
the grind of it. But the ones that grind and get up every day after getting kicked in the teeth 9 out of 10 times the previous day, that are just like at it again, and persistence matters. And like you guys hit the nail on the head. There's like 3 motivators a lot of times for people in their careers. It's money, it's peer recognition, or it's title, right?
Right.
And so like identifying what that person's main goal is. If they just want to sit back, not manage, not go any higher in the company, and just make a lot of money. Love those people, right?
Right.
And so it's good as like leaders to find out what motivates them. But for any salesperson or person who wants to get into sales, just know that sometimes the grind is gonna get to you, but you gotta have the persistence and just the kind of short memory to move on.
I tell you, and we'll wrap it up. My 2 things for sales, because I'm in it, myself, is no means not right now. So handle it with grace. Don't freak out, and don't let them see you sweat. You can't look nervous or, like you need this sale. Like you got to act a little bit. You got to put a little face on there, to play that game. But I appreciate you guys being here. Michelle, always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Am I going to see you at the J Fund? You coming to the J Fund?
Potentially.
Yeah, okay, cool. Well, if not, I'll see you again.
Maybe you'll come to our gala in October.
You know what? Maybe I will.
Maybe.
All it takes is an invitation.
Yeah, you'll
Did you know that?
Don't worry.
There you go. All right, guys, thanks so much. Really appreciate it. All right. Hey, how do we do it? We just do it, and you're always welcome to come here. It doesn't matter what you're doing out there in life. Just come and have a seat and get a chance to tell your story. Make sure you check out their profiles. You see what they're up to. See their links to their websites, how to contact them. It'll be on the bottom of this episode. So we see this episode come out on LinkedIn. Just scroll down a little bit, and you'll see it all right there. Until next time, stay safe and be cool out there. We'll see you right here on The Horse's Mouth. Cheers.